From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Our top story, the Stuart Creek fire continued to grow through the evening last night as residents from miles 16 to 34 were evacuated.
That's right, Daryl. Tonight we have the latest information on the fire. As of 3 p.m., the evacuation order for the residents of Two Rivers and Pleasant Valley was lifted. Today, there were multiple checkpoints set up by Alaska State Troopers to advise residents of the safety concerns as the fire has grown to over 70,000 acres.
As far as people coming in and out of the area, they're allowed to still come in. The road is open. Obviously, we've got a checkpoint here. We're just finding out where you're going, advising you that the fire is still activated. And you may run into some smoke and ash. We're not stopping anybody from going and checking on their homes or going in there to see families or friends.
Residents spoke to the news center yesterday about the serious conditions seen out in the Chena Hot Springs Road area.
I'm evacuated. We took the evacuation watch when it came out on Tuesday very seriously. We lost our house to a house fire 3 years ago, and it's indescribable how fast fires move. So we took it very seriously, and we started getting all of our important things out. And we are completely evacuated. Our family, our animals are all safe.
The cooler temperatures and rain that have been seen in the area has helped in the efforts to control the blaze. It has allowed more than 700 people who are working to control the blaze, including 21 crews from the lower 48, as well as helicopters and ground equipment by U.S. Army Alaska to get the fire under control.
The weather has helped over today and last night with the moisture and current cloud cover. It's given the firefighters a window to get in the fire and do some good work. Well, in the next few days, I'm hoping that the weather stays as is and gives folks on the ground a chance to get into the fire and do some work.
The Stuart Creek fire was apparently started by Army training. That information originally came to News Center 11 Friday from an anonymous source. Now, the source said the Army conducted field exercises with live ammunition last month despite extreme weather conditions. The source also said the Army superseded the concerns of Fort Wainwright Fire Service officials who denied waivers to fire ammunition in the area and went ahead with the exercises anyway. The information was confirmed by Fort Wainwright Garrison Commander Colonel Ronald Johnson and by Fire Service officials this past Saturday evening.
I think it's important for folks to know, what happened, and also to know that, we've got systems in place, where we monitor the conditions. As the BLM rep mentioned, Kent Slaughter, we do prescribed burns. We try to manage the training areas because we have to train and make sure that our troops are ready to, to go to war and win and come back. And given those systems, sometimes, things don't go as planned, and that's what happened in this case.
The process that we go through is we work with range control and with the fire department, the Fort Wainwright Fire Department. They asked for a recommendation. We gave them a recommendation to deny the waiver, which the fire department concurred with, and then range control has the final decision on whether or not they grant themselves a waiver. That, based upon their training requirements for their mission, for the Army's mission, they made the decision to go ahead with live fire activities.
On the heels of the United States Army Alaska admitting they caused the Stuart Creek 2 fire from live artillery training, Interior residents have been asking, what are they doing to help? According to the USARAC Public Affairs and 152 Aviation Unit based out of Fort Wainwright, they have been flying nonstop in an attempt to help control the blaze. Multiple aircraft, including 2 Army Chinooks and 2 Army Blackhawks, as well as a National Guard Blackhawk, have been flying, dumping thousands of gallons of water into the flames. In addition to the air support, the Army has also provided ground equipment as well as forces to accompany the Bureau of Land Management in their efforts to control the now nearly 80,000-acre fire.
Well, ever since we were asked by BLM to join in, we've been giving support 100%. We've been flying a lot of hours on our aircraft and our crews. What we do is we take water buckets and load them externally on our aircraft, and then we drop them into various dip sites where we can get water and fill them up and then take them to the fire line, and then we're directed by BLM where they want the water and how to drop it, and then we're just basically working with them and coordinating with them and working with all the other land management aircraft as well and the firefighters on the ground.
When we come back, tragic news to report. 10 people were killed yesterday when the plane they were on crashed at the Soldotna airport.
Also, North Star firefighters make a heroic rescue to a man's best friend. Those stories are next. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Fbx Evening News. 10 people were killed yesterday when the plane they were on crashed at the Soldotna airport. National Transportation Safety Board investigator Clint Johnson said the pilot and 9 passengers died in the crash. The aircraft was flown by Nikiski pilot and company owner Willie Radisky. State Trooper spokeswoman Megan Peters said a fire that consumed the aircraft initially kept firefighters from reaching the wreckage. The passengers have not yet been identified. The NTSB is sending a team to investigate the crash.
Any accident with fatalities or serious injuries is horrible. But again, once it reaches the threshold of either 8 or 10 fatalities, we have a different response as far as the NTSB goes. That's why we're launching a major go team on this accident.
Last evening, as firefighters fought the Stuart Creek wildfire, a residence located in North Pole also became the scene of another fire. Passerbys stopped on the side of the road to help a home that had smoke pouring from the roof. After calling 911, multiple fire agencies showed up at the residence, 1390 Dennis Road, and it was completely engulfed in flames. The 2 owners of the home showed up just in time to see firefighters rescue their pets, as seen in this video. The news center spoke to the North Star Fire Department about the heightened levels of fire danger.
You know, right now, we've been saying this, and all the departments in the interior have really been saying this pretty hard. Obviously, the Stuart Creek fire is going on. That's a big news. The Skinny Road fire was, earlier in the season. Even with the cooler temperatures, the overcast skies, it's still tinder dry. It doesn't take much to start a fire. North Star, over the course of the last 6 weeks or so, have gone to about 40 fires. It includes structure fires, brush fires. We've gone to car fires. Any little thing that can start a fire now has potential really spreading quickly.
Furloughs started today for civilian workers at 2 local military bases. The employees will work 1 less day per week through September. The unpaid days off will affect 960 people at the Fort Wainwright Army Post and 300 people at Eielson Air Force Base. The furloughs were mandated by national budget problems. Nationally, 85% of the civilians that work for the Defense Department are taking furloughs as part of military budget cuts. Exceptions were granted for firefighters working wildfires.
A meeting will be held in Fairbanks Tuesday to give Galena residents an update and information about applying for assistance. Now, the meeting will start at 2 p.m. at Doyon Limited with state and federal officials there. Many of the people who came to Fairbanks from Galena in May after the flood are still here as they wait for homes to be repaired or replaced. Tuesday's meeting is the first public meeting held in Fairbanks since the Federal Emergency Management Agency took over management of the 2013 Yukon River flooding disaster.
A 46-year-old North Pole man is in jail for the alleged rape of his wife, who state troopers say was also threatened with an axe. George Alarak Sr. is charged with first-degree sexual assault, third-degree assault, and assault in the 4th degree. Troopers got the call just after 7:15 p.m. Saturday evening, responding to a residence near Goldenrod Circle in North Pole. In a news release, troopers say the caller reported being beat up by her husband. They say Alarak had assaulted a family member, threatened the victim with an axe, and later sexually assaulted her. Alarak was found in the area and arrested and then transported to the Fairbanks Correctional Center. He was arraigned in Fairbanks District Court Sunday afternoon and placed under a no-bail status.
He's got prior convictions judged for violating a DV protective order, DUI, violating another DV protective order, driving while license revoked, reckless endangerment, assault in the 4th degree, urinating in public, and DUI. He's currently charged with an unclassified felony offense for sexual assault, along with a felony assault for holding an axe to the victim's throat. I think given that, no bail is appropriate.
If you've noticed a line of purple balloons attached to the fence across from Fred Meyer West, they're not advertising a garage sale or a new business. Rather, it's a tribute. The balloons were put up over the weekend anonymously to remember the 19 firefighters who were killed last week fighting a fire in Arizona. Each balloon is accompanied by a photo and short narrative about the individual. The balloons and photos will remain through tomorrow when the memorial celebration will take place in Arizona.
Balloons and pictures of the fallen firefighters that were recently killed in the tragedy in Arizona was put up there Saturday. And at the same time, a memorial flag was being taken all over the state for signatures at all of our fire offices throughout the state. And suddenly the memoriam appeared with the pictures and the balloons, and it has photographs of each of the fallen firefighters from the hotshot crew. So it's really quite a moving monument that somebody put up on their own.
Man, all this gloomy news. Let's have something exciting. Joe Cooks with
it was a good weekend of sports in the interior. We're going to recap everything from the Gold Panners to some local racing action, and also history is made this weekend on the tennis court. So we're going to go across the pond. Coming up next in sports. Hello, interior sports fans. Joe Cook here to start your week with the weekend recap. The Gold Panners were on a 3-game winning streak, but this weekend it was snapped by the last place Chugiak Chinooks. It was tight late with Alaska tying the game at 4-all in the top of the 8th, but in the bottom of the inning, Gold Panners pitcher Kevin Sprague's throwing error brought in the winning run. The Chinooks never trailed on Sunday. Alaska is still on top of the ABL despite the loss with a 10-6 record. The Anchorage Bucks are a half game back. Tomorrow, the Panners will be home for a 7-game homestand featuring the Chinooks and the Glacier Pilots. Also on Sunday, for the second year in a row, Devin McDowell and Dorley McWayne win the Run of the Mine 10K at the Usabelli Coal Mine. McDowell finished 41 minutes and 46 seconds for the men's crown. He was 5 minutes ahead of runner-up Alex Lindman. McWayne was 6th overall with the 51-minute, 15-second time for the women's title. Molly McKinley, the runner-up, came in 16 seconds later. There were 50 runners participating, 28 women and 22 men. The Run of the Mine raised $900, and that will go to the Tri-Valley Fire and Rescue Squad. The North Pole Jingle Bell Run and Walk for Arthritis started just after 10 a.m. Saturday at the Santa Claus House in North Pole. Current state representative and former North Pole Mayor Doug Isaacson was there with Old St. Nick himself. Over 500 people participated in the 5K, with proceeds supporting the programs and services of the Arthritis Foundation. Jacob Parker, who won the Run from the Cops 5K last Saturday, was the first through the chute for the men. Pushing him was former North Pole High and current UAA standout Christy Smits. She finished second and was the first woman to cross the finish line. It was a smoky Saturday, but people endured it for a good cause.
But it's fun to see familiar faces all over at this race, and people that came up from other states too to support.
Good crowd.
Yeah.
It took off real fast, and then the girl who won it, she was right behind me the entire time, helped me push me through those last couple miles. So
kind of surprised you, huh?
Exactly, she was right there with me the entire time. So yeah, she surprised me a little bit.
Great time to be anywhere where there's people having fun. Oh, take a little break now and then we'll get back up and start hitting it hard for Christmas.
And Friday night at the Mitchell Raceway was the GFRA's Military Appreciation Night. The Gladiators bumped to pass class, and their second race of the year had the little mini bomber car number 89 driven by Joseph Heath win. John Clemens of Wasilla was driving the black 77 car and won the 50-lap street stock race. And the 42 car John Clarkson, who won the second heat, and number 42 Dave Sommers crashed and wrecked in the race, but they were okay in the modified class. And the blue number 55 Scott Sluka won the main event and the first heat. He is also the points leader in the modified class. Kobe Hill, driving the green and white 56, won the sprint class main event and the second heat as well. In mini bombers, Christina Miller won her first main event, passing on the inside on the final lap to win, barely beating Jason Mayran, the 15 car who led most of the race. And dollar stock Ryan Coghill in the red and black 8 car, a Hutchinson senior, won despite a smoky final turn. He describes the finish.
When the car made all the smoke, I was kind of worried that I might hit him and not win, but I just took it slow and tried to avoid him.
I was just watching him the last probably 6 laps. I kept seeing him going high, and I kept trying to make it, and I couldn't do it, and finally I did it. It's patience, it's speed, it's strategy. It's just, the point is to go out there and have fun, and that's what we do.
And finally tonight, we go across the pond for history made on grass. Andy Murray finally won the Wimbledon Grand Slam tennis title, becoming the first male British tennis player to win it since Fred Perry did it in 1936. The second-ranked Murray had to defeat Novak Djokovic, a.k.a. the Joker, who was the #1 ranked player in the world. Murray did so in straight sets at the All England Club 6-4, 7-5, and 6-4. British Prime Minister David Cameron said Murray should be referred to as Sir Andy Murray now. It was a surreal moment for Murray.
When I came off the court, I mean, I had no recollection of that game, none of the points in it at all. It was just a crazy way to finish the game, and within tennis, winning Wimbledon is the pinnacle, and yeah, I don't think I'll ever top that.
And that's all I got for sports tonight. Thanks for rocking with me for a little while. Stay cool, Alaska. Mike Schultz has your full weather forecast coming up next, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again for a look at weather. Boy, it was sure nice to see those heavy showers move through today. Even had some reports of hail on the western side of town, but the good news is more showers are coming, so it'll help put that fire out and get us back into a little more comfortable situation. Our photograph tonight, this one is a beautiful eagle shot sent in by James Arnold. Eagle in flight. And again, if you have a photograph to share, by all means, send it to me at Mike Schultz at KTVF11.com, and we will share it with the rest of the audience. What's going on out at the airport right now? Some showers still once again. 67 for our high today, 66 currently. The low last night, 49. Record high, 91 in 2009. In contrast, down to freezing for the overnight low in 1922. Sunrise and sunset, well, that works out to 20 hours and 50 minutes because we lost another 6 minutes from yesterday. Here's our first satellite picture. As you can see, a lot of circulation in the upper atmosphere, a lot of just basically counterclockwise flow, helping to bring these pockets of moisture in here, and also this one coming up from southeast Alaska. So the two are meeting and giving us a good chance of showers and thunderstorms. In fact, our latest radars, we zoom in around the area. This area of rain that was sitting over the fire all day long is now starting to move a little bit more to the west, and we also have some showers moving in from the west. So the two are going to be kind of clashing, giving us a pretty good dosage of heavy rain, maybe even some thunderstorm activity too. Well, what's going on across the rest of the state? Well, there is rain falling over southeast Alaska, around Ketchikan, cloudy skies over the Gulf of Alaska, showers over the southwest part of the state. Not too bad, Nome, 62 degrees there, kind of chilly at Barrow, 45 degrees and foggy, and some showers are at Fort Yukon, 57 degrees. Lower 48 weather. We'll talk about hot weather again. 95 degrees in Salt Lake City, 96 in Denver, 113 degrees in Phoenix. Showers and thunderstorms across the nation's central sections, and over the eastern half also scattered thunderstorm activity. On the satellite radar, you can see a little bit of activity moving across the Great Lakes, and then more energy moving across the Central Plains. This is going to become a real trouble situation because the jet stream is once again going to guide a lot of that energy right across the northern plains, right on down to the Central Plains, while the rest of the country once again stays very hot for later on this week. What's going on across Alaska for tomorrow? Well, it looks like showers for mostly cloudy skies at Barrow, but showers for or thunderstorms for Fort Yukon, and partly cloudy skies at Nome. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at less smoke, more showers, and even some isolated thunderstorms around the Healy area. While over southeast Alaska, rain changing to showers region-wide. And out to the southwest, we're looking at, again, scattered showers for Coal Bay, partly cloudy for Kodiak and Bethel, while over the south central regions around the Anchorage Bowl and Valdez and Homer, mainly cloudy skies to isolated showers. Our forecast for the remainder of the night for the Fairbanks area, as you can see here, 51 degrees, numerous showers, and some of those could be heavy. Keep an eye out for that. Tomorrow's forecast, 67 degrees, another day with showers and some areas of smoke as the fire is being put out. And our 5-day outlook, as you can see here, temperatures warming back up to the mid-70s all the way through the 5-day period. Lots of sunshine expected at the end of the 5-day period, with otherwise off and on showers expected, and overnight lows right around the low 50s each day.
We could definitely use that rain.
Yeah, we've got to send a big congratulations out, and a big thank you to all the fire folks that have been out there working so hard. Absolutely. You know, in the Forestry Division, BLM, and all of them, they've just been doing just an incredible job, and the folks in Two Rivers really appreciate it too.
Yes.
Right. Likewise, the volunteers who are taking care of all those animals at the State Fairgrounds.
Yeah. So, West Valley and also Weller Elementary School too.
Yes.
Very good. All right, that will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. As always, we are glad you could join us.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, George Zimmerman's defense team must make its case in what could be the final week of testimony. That's next with Brian Williams.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at webcenter11.com.
I know you guys didn't have a chance to go outside this evening. We had some pretty good showers moving through, and we're going to leave you with one of those showers that brought hail to the University West area.
Oh.